Okay, so today we're going to be talking about what kind of obstacles that a bacteria would encounter as it entered through the skin on your hand through a cut. So obviously, initially you'd have that physical protective barrier of the skin, but the bacteria would be able to get right past that because of the cut or open wound that was present. Although that physical barrier is damaged, the bacteria would still come in contact with some of the chemical barriers that are present on the skin, like the acid mantle that's there to prevent a natural overgrowth of bacteria on the skin. So anyways, once the bacteria has gotten inside that cut though, it's going to be met with some more chemical obstacles inside of those injured tissues such as lysozyme, perioxidases, lactoferrin, and AMPs. And all of these are just antimicrobial substances that are looking to fight off pathogens before they become a major problem for the body. And once the bacteria makes it past these initial defenses, it's going to encounter the complement system, macrophages, and then the inflammatory response and fevers that are going to be triggered by the body here. So the complement system is a cascade response that can alert the body to foreign invaders such as this bacterial cell and draw cells such as phagocytes into the area to destroy the bacteria. So phagocytes can engulf and destroy bacterial cells, and those phagocytes are also going to kind of initiate a chemical response too, because they're going to release cytokines, which are going to draw even more phagocytes into the area, and it's also going to allow for the body to initiate the inflammatory response, so the blood vessels are going to dilate. The injured tissue is going to be leaking fluid, all just bringing in more lymphocytes and phagocytes into the injured area to try and destroy any bacteria or other debris that have gotten into the wound. And then also it's going to trigger a fever. So a fever is kind of the body's way of trying to curb the growth of any bacterial infections or kill off bacteria that have entered the body through that wound. Bacteria would also encounter the adaptive immune response, which could either be a primary response if the body has never seen this bacteria before, or a secondary response if the body is familiar with the bacteria. So this is going to be composed of B cells, and these B cells are going to recognize that there's a foreign antigen in the body, and they're going to become activated, and they're going to proliferate and turn into plasma cells and memory B cells. And these plasma cells are really important because they produce antibodies, which are going to bind to the surface of the bacteria and mark it for destruction, again, by macrophages. And so those macrophages are going to phagocytize the bacteria and get rid of it, destroy it. And then the memory B cells are going to just kind of remember this bacteria and what worked to defeat it the first time around. And so if you get a secondary response, which means that your body's already seen this bacteria, that secondary response is going to be quicker and more effective. It's going to produce a stronger response because rather than a naive B cell coming in and having to produce antibodies and get a whole cycle going, you've got a memory cell here which already knows what's going on, already has the antibodies, and can quickly mark those bacteria for destruction before they are able to divide in the body and cause a worse infection.